So you came in and they threw you right in against the top part of their lineup.
Saw that coming.
Trout, Ohtani. For some reason, he didn't want to hit against you, so he just went right to first.
Yeah, it's always a good sign when your first walk of the year is intentional. Yeah. I was like, come on, I can get him out. He's not that good.
Welcome to episode number 186 of the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of John Boy Media. And for the first time as an Oakland A, where the games really count, we're joined by Trevor May, who, at the time of the taping, is tied for the Major League lead in wins. Just want to say it.
My bad.
Just
want to win,
it.
put Team A in. That's what they say.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I got mad. I kind of yelled at the clubhouse like, "What, guys? We're not going to celebrate my first Major League win." And there was one person who was like, "Really?" I'm like, "No, it isn't."
Please tell me who bid on that one.
Oh, it wasn't Mueller. Like Wally, just for one of the young guys. One of the young guys, just for a split second, was like, had to think about it. I'm like, come on.
So I'm always curious when you this is now your third team in the last 4 seasons. You spent 2 up there in New York after your entire big league career with the Twins. Were you nervous yesterday?
I actually remember specifically thinking, not that I wasn't nervous, but that it was just, I don't know, fun. Like in the past, it's been very like, I've been like, okay, come on, let's start off. Let's have a good inning to start the year, and let's make sure we get off of it. And it was more like the anxiety wasn't really there until about the 6th inning. Usually it's there all day. So I don't know. It was really fun watching so many guys all have their first. We had so many first opening days, and like Brian Noda, it was his birthday, and he's a Rule 5 guy, and like he earned the spot out of the spring, like a big, huge day for him. So I was just trying to like watch him just walk around and he was, he some guys are like don't know what to do, and he was just doing his normal stuff, but like I could tell he was really, really happy and excited. So and they do, man, it's crazy. The most cameras I've ever seen on the field are in Oakland. And it might be because they don't have a big, very, very big camera well or something, but there were so many people with cameras in front of our dugout. It was crazy. I was like, geez, and Caprellian said it too. He's like, man, this is like the Yankees. Where'd all these guys come from? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, there's a lot of expensive camera lenses here. That's what I said, because that's what I'm into right now.
Were they yeah, we can tell based on the quality of the camera you're using today.
Look pretty good
which
today,
is freaking amazing. I think you spent half your yearly salary on that thing. It's nice.
Yeah, maybe. It's actually the same one I usually have. It's just it's a little bit closer. I'm centered very nicely.
It's very, very well done. It's way better than my horseshit hotel room as I'm sitting in Cleveland, Ohio, on the back end of our college looking journey for our young son. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's been interesting. We've taken him around to a bunch of Big Ten schools. We took him to Wisconsin, Indiana, Ohio State. You know, he still might dabble in Division III baseball if he wants to do that, and if somebody wants him. So, did you even go on a college tour?
Oh, yeah. I went a couple. I went to Washington State. I went to Washington. I think Washington was the front runner because honestly, they saw me when I was a sophomore in high school. So we had a really good, they were pretty much the front runner the whole time. But actually, my official visit there was watching Lincecum throw against Brandon Morrow. I think there was like 700 punch outs in the game or something. Crazy number. Yeah. That got me locked in. I was like, yeah, I'm coming. Yep. I want to do that. That was great. 2-0.
What were you throwing it as a sophomore? How hard were you throwing?
I think I went to a camp like early summer between sophomore and junior year, and I was like, I think I topped out at like 88, but I was like, I just gone from like 5'9" or 10 to 6'3" that year. So I was like really skinny and tall, and like my knees hurt. But I was like taller than everyone else that was that age. And running up to 88 in Washington as a 16-year-old's pretty projectable. So I remember Ken Knutson, the pitching or the head coach at the time, was he came and talked to me. I thought it was weird that you don't get to talk to head coach usually. So And I got like he called like literally within 24 hours of going home after the tournament, said if I'm interested in Washington. I was like, of course I am. It's as close to home as I could be. Funny thing, actually, 15 years later, I'm sitting in the bullpen last year in Port St. Lucie, and Ken Knutson sits next to me, and he was like one of the minor league coordinators for pitching. I'm like, small world. That's how it all comes around, doesn't it? He's like, yep. You always see, when you meet people in baseball, you tend to see them again somewhere.
Pretty good. You
Yeah.
would have been a great college student because one of the things that hit me on Brady's tour is the number of clubs. Like there's literally squirrel watching clubs now at every school. I was like, you know who would love this?
I would love
Trevor
clubs.
May. You would have been involved in 237 different clubs.
Yeah, if you guys know about any clubs for 33-year-olds, I still am into clubs. I'm looking for people to be interested in all the weird stuff I'm interested in.
What is there anything new since I mean, other than your donut making and your pasta, which we'll get to momentarily?
Uh, you know how many baking's not it's not new, but I've gotten way into it. I have now brought in baked goods to the A's clubhouse in double-digit times. So in spring I baked 9 times, and then I showed up on the workout before opening day with a box of cookies. And Mark Kotze, the first day I brought in chocolate cookies, he said everyone was like, dude, these are so good. And then Kotze goes, a little doughy. I was like,
Little
okay.
doughy.
And now you and I have a problem. So now everything I make is going to be, now I'm going to be like, needing your approval. So yesterday he had a cookie and he was like, now this is a cookie. And he like was pumped about it. So I was like, okay, we got him on the cookie. So now I got to find out all the things he likes. So
Well,
that's what I'm doing there. Yeah, I'm baking like crazy, man.
you could play it like a scene out of Ted Lasso, where he brings in the biscuits to the boss lady.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
you could bring in whatever you want into Kotze's office, and but it's got to be different. Can't be the same box.
Can't be the same thing. And I for some reason I can't get my head around. I can't like commit to doing small batches. I'm like, oh, I want some cookies. Okay, cool. Let's make 70. Like I just can't. Like if I'm gonna do it, let's do it. But I actually did blueberry scones just for him because those are his favorite. My first attempt, I'll be honest, they were a little bit flatter than I wanted. They weren't the best thing I've ever done, but they were very tasty. And so he was like, you know what? They're not as fluffy, but my God, are these great? Like he just grabbed one and ate it like it was. He's like, if you can grab a scone and just eat it like a croissant, like that's a good sign. So I was like, all right, that's like, I mean, it's kind of a compliment. Thank you.
Well, you are in a great foodie city, right?
Yeah,
Because are we allowed to say where you're living?
yeah. I mean, San Francisco.
Okay,
Sure.
good.
There's a lot of food in my neighborhood too.
It.
Oh, I'm right. Yeah, I'm right in a really good food. Let's just put it this way: DoorDash, the average rating's a 4.9 right here. So it's pretty good. All the places. I cannot wait to. Kate hasn't been here yet, but when she gets here, we're gonna try places, like try to go on a tour. And I also have a list from Canna, so I got a lot
You've been
to do.
too busy. I've seen all your videos, like with your maple donuts and your homemade pasta. Wow. You got to have some balls to pull this one off.
So very few ingredients, but my God, is working pasta dough the worst thing. It takes forever. I was on my hand, my forearms were on fire, and I just had to keep adding water, keep adding water, keep adding water. But we got there. The nice thing is, like, you can't really mess it up. If it's too wet, you just add some flour. If it's too dry, you just add some water, and you just do that over and over again until you get it to the right consistency. It's really hard to mess up. It just takes forever.
Look at you with your freaking apron and everything.
We made spaghetti bolognese that day, and puttanesca, and I gave Kate the noodles, and she cooked them, and then we served them for dinner to my parents-in-law. That's what that night was. So it was pretty fun. I was really, really happy with how it came out. Hadn't made some since our honeymoon in Tuscany when we learned. So it's been 7 years since I made pasta. Now it's in. Now I don't want normal pasta. I want homemade.
So wait a second, start to finish, because it sounds like a great idea. My brother is a tremendous chef. He was always with my mom in the kitchen growing up, and he has carried that tradition on. And my wife looks at me like, can't you be like your brother? I was like, maybe I can't be like that. So how long start to finish was the process?
Making fresh pasta is maybe takes 20 to 30 minutes if you're slow.
What?
Like that, I bet professional chefs can do it in 10 minutes. It's just it's the working of the dough. Literally, it's egg, salt, and flour. And you just fold it and fold it and fold it, and you try to get it into a ball that holds together. That's the perfect moisture. And then if you want to do it by hand, you got to rolling pin it out and cut it with a knife, which the guy in Tuscany was doing, but we all had the machines. So I just have the little thing that clamps on the end, and you just roll it out into the right length, and then put it through the shredder, put it in a little pile, and then dust it with flour so all the noodles stay separate until you put them in the water. It literally takes 90 seconds to cook them in water. Like you just put them in, they're done under 2 minutes, and then you're just ready. So that's the best part. The prepackaged stuff takes longer to boil, and it doesn't take very long at all.
Yeah.
But fresh stuff cooks immediately. So once it's made, you're good.
I like that. The maple donuts, did you bring those into the clubhouse?
Those were a hit.
Yeah.
Oh my God, maple bars are the best. Not only that, you can make you can make 12 in half an hour. They were so good. I'm not kidding. Like who came over? Tyler Duffy was signed with the Cubs, and we had him and his wife over. And Alan Bushnitz, who I also played with, re-signed with the Reds. So we were all having a good night before we left. We broke, and I saved a couple for them. And Tyler Duffy's wife Sarah was like, she'd never had a maple bar before, which blew my mind. I guess they're not big in Texas, and she was just like, "This is the best thing I've ever." Like she was like, "I love maple bars. They're my favorite dessert ever. I need these all the time." So like Tyler's like, "Okay, we'll get you a maple bar. They're literally at every donut shop in the country. I don't know what's happening." He goes, "I'm so sorry about this," but I was just pumped. She loved them. Yeah, they were really, really good.
Was there somebody? There's always one guy who always goes in for seconds before everybody gets firsts. There's got to be somebody on the team who did that.
Half the team's like that. Sam Mole loves baked goods. Like his wife's a big baker, so he's always like, "Hey man, I gotta like see who's are better. Like it's important." I brought in cookies. He had like 9 cookies the other day. Because I was like, that better be empty before I go home, because I made way too many and I've eaten too many, so eat them all. He's like, okay, and he just kept just shoveling it.
I can't stop either. That's probably why I weigh what I weigh. So what's next on the agenda?
I think I'm gonna do this. I did sour cream donuts, one of the old fashions, the crunchier ones, or I don't know, crustier ones. I'm gonna do those again today. Bring those in tomorrow, because a lot of guys didn't get them. I only made like 6 of them last time, and I made 10 of them, and then Kate and I ate 4 the night before.
Oh my God.
We were gonna split one, and then it just turned in we were watching a movie, and it turned in we both had 2.
What were you watching?
We were watching Tar, which was very good. Highly recommended. Kate Blanchett is a generational talent.
Mm-hmm.
She's amazing.
I'm in. So it's dinner time. You don't know what to do. Again. That's where our friends at HelloFresh will lend a very helping hand, because they make mealtime fun. They get you great meals, and they are delivered right to your door. That means you're going to see the checkout lines, because HelloFresh has got dinner covered. HelloFresh keeps your taste buds on their toes. We're talking about 40 recipes, over 100 seasonal and convenience items to choose from each and every week. Here's the great thing about HelloFresh. They are pre-portioned ingredients, so they cut down on food waste by at least 23% compared to grocery shopping. That is great for your wallet. It is also great for the planet as well. And don't worry, you might say, hey, listen, Rose, I'm not a pro in the kitchen. I can't figure out how to make anything. HelloFresh, it is foolproof. It has got ingredients that are so easy to follow. Even this dummy made a great meal recently. In fact, I made a couple of them. So if you've been married for more than 25 years, like me and the missus, it's a great activity to do as well. You're not sitting there yelling at each other like, you idiot, You didn't measure this thing the right way because they've got all the ingredients right there and the instructions in front of you. That's the way to roll. So right now, go on over to HelloFresh.com/rotation50. So that means you're using the code rotation50 for 50% off. Plus, your first box ships free. That is HelloFresh.com/rotation50. Start using America's #1 meal kit today. Let me know how you love it. Let's get back to your opening day. So you came in and they threw you right in against the top part of their lineup.
Saw that coming.
Trout, Ohtani. For some reason, he didn't want to hit against you, so he just went right to first.
Yeah, it's always a good sign when your first walk of the year is intentional. Yeah. I was like, come on, I can get him out. He's not that good. Sometimes even gets caught stealing.
Oh, and then you got Rendon swinging on a nice 1-2 pitch. So is it different when you're playing against Shohei now after everything that he has accomplished and he's now become the most popular player in the world and all that sort of stuff? Is there, because he was out there, he was dealing 10 Ks, no runs allowed. Like, are you paying attention to him and saying, it's kind of cool that I'm here while he's here?
Yeah, I mean, guys get kind of bigger than life in this game. Like I remember when I first came up and it was Miggy Cabrera, I was just like, he's right there, he's in the box, and he's huge. So it's like, yeah, you see him across there. He's just such a humble like guy. I love how much he's like trying to take on, like, because even his culture and like just general personalities. Just look at the speech he gave before the WBC. He's like, I understand that we admire all those guys over there and we love them so much, but just for today, let's not. And I love that. That was so funny. But you can tell he's trying to like take the mantle and show emotion as much as he knows how in the way that he does it. And like, that's not common. Like, just like ask you, Darvish, and like ask all the guys. Like, it's just not something they naturally do. And I love that he's like, he knows that it's important that he does that from time to time. But at the same time, like I've been around long enough too, where I just don't I get mad at myself when I let that stuff get too, like, I like him. I like him as a peer I love what he's doing. I think he's doing everything the right way. And watching that WBC was one of the most fun watching baseball moments I've had in a long time too. So, and also I just want to say, Shohei, if you're watching this and I think you know enough English by now, thank you so much for bringing so many Japanese fans, bringing all the Ichiro fans back into the game, because it's benefiting everybody, and we appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what did I see? I forget what the percentage of televisions in Japan were tuned into the championship game.
It was like 92%. It was in the 90%.
Yeah.
That's insane. When they played Korea, I guess like the water pressure in the country went down for a bit between innings because everyone's going to the bathroom at the same time. That's crazy. That's insane.
Oh,
wow.
I
can't imagine.
No, I'm such a huge fan of his.
Oh, he's so cool. He's so cool. He just is cool, man.
You would be great playing over in Japan. You would probably love that.
I think I would, except for how long their days are. I've heard firsthand about how, everyone's there at 11 for a 7 p.m. game, and a lot of like stretching and a lot of I love throwing, but like, yeah, that would it's very all day at times. And some teams are very, very serious about it, others aren't. And it's a dog eat dog a little bit. Some guys throwing leverage struggle once or twice. You don't throw in leverage anymore for the rest of the year. And that's something I've done before. So other than that, Japan seems amazing. That's the next trip, so I can't wait to go.
I'm not so well. I'd be curious to see how the maple bars would do.
I would too. They're eating a lot of fish, a lot of rice. That's another thing, but they're always welcoming a little bit of, when guys can bring in a little bit of variety into the food. They're always excited about it. That's one thing they told me too. If you bring in something they've never had before, they all are so pumped.
So I loved the World Baseball Classic. We spent a lot of time on John Boy Media and baseball today in particular talking about it. Um, Obviously the biggest downer is what happened to your former teammate in
Yeah.
Edwin Diaz. Have you reached out to him yet?
I sent him a text message. He's yeah, that's unfortunate. I know that his brother was like jumping up and down with him too, so it was really hard on him. Yeah, it just sucks. It's just one of those things. Like so many of those things just happen to us. Like just ask Jeremy Affeldt about what it's like to have freak injuries and lose missed time because the dude popped his ACL picking up his kids. So like, remember Will Smith tore his Achilles taking his shoe off? Like it's just, it's just the way the baseball is, and it's just really, really unfortunate that it happened at the time it happened. But I know he's gonna be working his. I don't be surprised if he like just shows up on like, September 28th, just like in a game. You're like, wow, like pulls a Stroman. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah, he seems awesome. I mean, I loved obviously the trumpets and everything else, but he's, the one or two times I've talked to him, just interviewed him, he just seemed like the sweetest guy and
He's a happy guy. He's a happy guy. He's happy all day. And just when the phone rings and he just goes and like starts to stretch a little bit and he's ready to go. But up until that moment, he's bubbly and he's betting guys in the pen to do all kinds of stuff, like just eat bugs and anything you see. He's like, hey, lick that window. We're like, I'm not going to lick that window, Edwin. He's like, okay. He's that guy. He's that guy. Hey, bet you can't. And then he tries to find the guys who say yes. And he's always trying to do like, bet you $50 you can't. Or he'll just play like war against the clubhouse guy. Like flip the card. Who's got the higher card? You win. Like that. He just does that all the time. Loves it.
All right. Did anybody take him up on the bug eating or window licking?
No window licking, no bug eating. They usually like to go. Well, it's always the bullpen catchers, and the guys in New York are absolute pros, legends. Eric Langell and Dave Reccanello are two of the best in the league. Been there forever, and they'll just be like, "Nah, I'm not going to do that." And he's like, "Okay," and then he tries to think of something else. So they just go through.
What's the strangest thing you've heard somebody do?
Strangest thing, actually, nothing's very strange. Like we had one time Harrison, the video guy, the best in the league, self-proclaimed, in New York. We were in Philly, and Philly always has like tons of cheesesteaks in the clubhouse or whatever. They had a bunch of cold cut sandwiches, like lots of bread, big. And they're like, they bet him. We got a pool going to see how many of them he could eat without standing up. So like usually it's eating. Mike Pelfrey did this once for 13 donuts. He sat and ate them all. He's another guy who just, if you said, I'll bet you can't, he'll just do it. It doesn't even matter how much money's on the table. He doesn't care. Don't tell Mike Pelfrey. Mike Pelfrey can't do something. That's the way he was. So, and Harrison crushed it. I mean, I think he got there was like two tiers. Like if you get 5 of these sandwiches down, you get the big prize. But if you get like 2.5 or more, because they were big, they were like big deli sandwiches, then we'll give you half, or we'll give you like 2/3 of it. And he got to the 2/3 number. Langy always has a bet that's about losing weight every year with Shug. It's like their thing now. And so he'll be like, hey, they'll have a month or 2 months. He'll be like, by the All-Star break to the end of the year, if you can get to this, and it's like his weight goal. So like it's almost like an accountability thing. But he's like, I bet you can't do this. And then they go do it, and he does it every single year. And he comes back, a little bit's back, and he's like, whatever, I'll just get paid to lose it later. We're like, Lang, got to keep that under wraps. Please don't do that too much. That's not healthy. And he's like, I know, but I'm going to get it while I can.
Declare taxes on your weight loss program every year.
Yeah. Good.
By the way, did you say Pelfrey ate 13 donuts?
I think it was 13. Or maybe, Baker's dozen, 14. Texas. I watched it. And not only that, like 6 of them were cream filled. It was that guy. He taught me. Well, and Alaska loved to be like, he's another guy who's just like, someone needs to do that. We're like, Pelf, and then Pelf come running. He's like, what do you mean to do? That's was my rookie year, just watching Mike Pelfrey just do every little tiny little thing. And the guy was a millionaire and just money didn't matter. He'd be like, $100 in. I can chew 55 pieces of gum at once. $100. Let's do it. We tried that one time. That was on TV, I think. We just got half the gum in, half the gum out. He just keeps chewing it. See how many pieces he can get in his mouth.
55 pieces.
Something like that. And he was just, you could tell his jaw was just killing him.
That's
just kept.
Yeah, I mean, you're ending up on the injured list with a sprained jaw.
I think he tried to eat one of those I think it's 3 pounds at the end of the day of those cheese poof balls in the big container, the huge one, cheesy poofs.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like half full. He's like, I bet you I could finish that before the game starts. So he's just rifling cheesy poof. We're like, dude, there's no way. Of course, he's nowhere close. He got like a third of them down. And it just felt awful.
That is horrible.
Orange dust all around us because he just leaned in just all over his face. It was really funny. He's a funny guy. I love that guy.
Oh, you're making me sick to my stomach. More of the show is coming your way, but quickly wanted to remind you that today's episode is presented to you by Shady Rays. Of course, the summer months fast approaching. We want you to take on the sun with gear that is built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades at a very affordable price. In fact, Shady Rays offers a world-class product just as good as any expensive pair you have ever worn. We're talking about durable frames, extremely clear optics, and you know what I love the most? I have told you this before, that Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in the history of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses backed by lost and broken replacements. So what does that mean? You buy them on day one, you put them on your car seat day one, you forget you put them on your car seat day one, you sit on them and you break them day one. Shady Rays will send you a replacement pair, no questions asked. Also, exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. So I want you to go right now, shadyrays.com, use the code word ROSE. You're going to get 50% off 2+ pair of polarized sunglasses. Once again, that's shadyrays.com, code word is ROSE. We want you to save money, and if you lose them or you break them, they're going to replace them. Shady Rays, you will definitely rate. All right, time right now to get to the animal-loving portion of the program. We saw you bathe your cat. All right, I think Robbie's got that. Let's listen to this part, please.
Gotcha. Look at the camera. See? It's like one of those things. It's like getting your blood drawn. Just don't look, and it doesn't hurt.
He was having a tough one. She was having a tough
one.
There was a lot of other footage in there that wasn't. I think she went to the bathroom while I was holding her on me. So we cut that out.
Really?
She was really like, it was way too long. She's got really long fur. And sometimes the litter box stays with her. Let's just put it that way. So I have to clean her up.
I've never had a cat. So how long do you, how often do you have to bathe a cat?
It literally is like never if they're sanitary, but if you, right. We've never had literally, she's like a feather duster. So everything she touches, it just sticks to her. So, for whatever reason, her and her brother are like bonded pairs. They go everywhere together. So one of them goes to the bathroom in the morning. The other one needs to go to the bathroom literally like right after. So they go in, and if it's not buried correctly, they'll like step in the other cat's like stuff and then walk around all day with it. And her hair's so long that it just gets matted. It's gross. Like we have to bathe her. But we got her a sanitary cut. A groomer came in and like cut around all the areas. Mm-hmm. And there she is right here that tend to get dunked up, and she actually hasn't needed a bath since. So, but her fur gets a little discolored too. Like here, her mane gets too long when she tries to lick herself. Just the fur gets in her. She just licks the same fur over and over again. So that's what's happening now. She needs that trimmed up. It's like it's discolored here because she licks it so much. But she's a fluffy. We don't have to do it that much. We just happen to do it the day of a vlog because she's gross.
Okay. All right. I did notice there was a dog. I don't know if was it one of your teammates' dogs at spring training?
Oh, that's Stack and Riders. That's Chance, the golden retriever, and I've never seen a dog more excited to be on a baseball field in my life. They were all running sprints and just running back and forth with him like sprints, the same, just gassed at the end. But Yeah, I actually wore a GoPro quite a bit in spring, and this is going to come later. A lot of chance content in there. A lot of chance content. He
I'm
came
sure.
a few times. Yeah.
I'm sure. So did you wear the GoPro like everywhere? It's not in the clubhouse, is it?
I mean, it is, but like not for the whole time. Just when no one's in there, just so you can see the layout and what it's like to walk inside. I'm beginning that a lot. We did a lot of PFPs with it on my hat, which it's really cool because I didn't know the camera stabilization was so good on those things. So it's like if you put on a VR headset, it'd be like you're doing PFPs with me.
Okay.
You'll probably hate it just as much as we do.
Yeah, I actually did that one time with the Colorado Rockies. I got
Yeah.
to shoot a little bit when I was at MLB Network, and I overthrew DJ LeMahieu, who I think is the tallest second baseman to ever play.
Might be.
I fired it probably 8 feet over his head
Tough.
while covering second.
Much harder than you think, especially rolling double plays. Turning and throwing a second is one of our nightmares. Like a pitcher fielding and turning around, just yeeting it in the center is like something we have bad nightmares about. And it's funny because you recognize who the guys who struggle with that most are early in spring, and I am one of them. Or I have been historically. I haven't had problems with it recently, but oh yeah. Yeah, once you bobble, you panic. Once you bobble, it's over. Go to first.
Yeah, I knew that. But boy, do I wear a uni great, huh?
You do. You look great in uni.
Holy smokes. It was like, I was out there at like 8:30 in the morning, and it was so hot. Thank God Jason Mott was there and helped me out with that. But oh my God, it was.
Welcome.
I wasn't good at
your world.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I thanked all the pitchers for allowing me to do it. And they were like, "No, you are breaking up the monotony of spring training."
Please, we've done this 30 days in a row.
Yeah, although boy, it's very important, Oakland, because if you misfire at first or third,
it's gone. And actually, the catchers or the middle infielders misfire first. It's going in the dugout too. That's the next. They're if they're almost there, there's a guy on second. You didn't get him out. He's going to third.
But the good news is, God, foul territory is so juicy for you pitchers.
It is. There's gonna be a lot of foul balls caught that wouldn't be caught anywhere else, which is a large reason. I get lots of those. If I could get $1 for every time I've gotten a 3-2 foul ball going to the first row, I'd have a handful of dollars, and I want those to be outs.
Attention, attention, attention. The baseball season is in full swing, and whether you're rooting for the home team or betting on your favorite player, DraftKings Sportsbook has got you covered all season long. Right now, new customers can place a $5 pregame moneyline bet and get $150 in bonus bets if your team wins. Plus, everyone can hit it out of the park with DraftKings same-game parlays. Combine multiple bets in a single game for a shot at an even bigger payout. Take the team win. You take a homer. You take some strikeouts. It's going to be a great week this week. Rockies are visiting the Dodgers. Miggy Rowe's been pretty hot. Who knows? Join the big league action now and on DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app and sign up with promo code ROSE, and new customers can bet just $5 on any pregame money line and get $150 in bonus bets if their team wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with promo code ROSE. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Now back to the show.
How did the pitch clock go for you for the first time that it counted?
It wasn't too bad. Though we had a talk. My last outing in San Francisco, I just walked 4 dudes. Start all 3-2 because frankly, our catcher situation, Shea starting, but the backup catcher was kind of up in flux, and we brought in Perez just a couple days before that. So like he was just kind of thrown in the fire, like, hey, go learn the pitcher. So I got out there. I thought Shea, he just went straight to the thing with the straight to the plate with the helmet on, and like I thought it was Shea. Until we were done with the first hitter. I'm like, oh, this is a new catcher. Like he doesn't know me at all. I've never even met him yet. I haven't met him. So we are not on the same page. I shake, I think 7 times once, and I watch the clock just go to 0. I was like, well, there's a ball. Like, what's going on, Shay? And then I was like, oh, that's not him. So we had this miscommunication thing, and we just couldn't, like, I could not get. Let's just put it this way: I wasn't focused on where I was throwing the ball for the first 15 pitches of the inning. I was just trying to like figure out how to call the right pitch in time, which is really annoying because I'm like, man, this isn't necessary. It's not necessary that this is 15 seconds. There's nothing in the world that's necessary. It's not necessary to give Sergio Romo a ball when he walks around the mound because he's retiring. Like, that's just not necessary. But so that was a tough day. But I said, hey, we are going to be on the same page with our catchers going into the season, and we're going to make sure that we have constant conversation with these guys so that we don't have to worry about the clock right away, and we're just on our plan. We go, because once you get out of whack, good luck getting back in whack. It's once if stuff starts snowballing downhill, you have to like, I don't know, maybe fall on the ground, hold your shin like in soccer until someone comes out and gives you the cold spray and you can pitch again, just to slow down, because there's just they went from, oh, you guys slowed down too much, to you get 0 options to slow it down if stuff's going quickly. So it was okay the other day, but I had 2 of my 7 outings in spring just be like where I felt like I couldn't execute a game plan at all if I wasn't, if me and the catcher didn't know exactly what we were trying to do. It just made it very, very, very hard. So, but I learned, and I've been talking to those guys a lot lately.
So when you really didn't know the name of the catcher, like, how did?
No, I knew Perez. I knew, like, I'd spoken to, like, hey, welcome to the team. Like, he had been there for like 48 hours or 72, but I didn't know he was in the game, because usually when a new catcher comes in, there's enough time for him to run out and be like, hey, what signs? What do you want to do? Like, and I'll be like, all right, yeah, there we go. We met. But what he does is he came out because it was a little bit later. I think he just hit, or maybe he just got swapped in. So I ran to the mound. Usually they'll meet me if there's a new one. He didn't. So he just had his helmet on the whole time. They're about the same size. So he just like crouched down, and then I gave him like the salute that I gave to Shea. So at first I was like, it's Shea. And I was just like doing my thing, warmed up, threw down. He never took his helmet off, like never took his mask off. And I didn't even really look for it because I just assumed. And once I assumed it was Shea now. And then after the first hitter, I was like, why is he? Because I think a curveball got called or something in there. And I was like, I don't even throw one of those. What's going on? Like, I was like, what is happening? Did you just forget who I was? And then I was like, oh, it's a different guy. And then that's when I said, hey, give me signs. And he didn't really understand what that meant. So we were still doing the thing. And then for another hitter, and there was someone I threw a changeup 3-2. And I was like, I looked up just 1 second. I was like, ah, and just spiked it. I was like, this is so stupid. I just want to throw the ball and compete. That's all I want to do. I cannot believe I'm worried about this all the time, and that this is real, just for the sake of fitting in a nice 3-hour slot. I get it. I understand. But it doesn't need to be this rushed. It doesn't. It just, there's no, the number of like the Pete Alonso thing yesterday, it just sent me into like orbit. I was like, there's no way that Pete didn't sprint back to first fast and got Jeff a strike. What? Why? You could just not call that and be fine. Just don't do it.
I would agree with you on that. Yeah, there was definitely some stuff that, and I've been in favor of the pitch clock to see how it works. I also have been steadfast that we need to be able to slide it, maybe add a few seconds here or there. I mean, would that help you immensely if it was?
Oh my God. If it were even like, if we're just 20 all the time, done, it's fixed. That way I can shake a pitch and like execute a game plan, because believe it or not, people in the commissioner's office, pitchers have to make decisions based on information, and there's actually a process happening when we choose what we're throwing. We're not just guessing, and we're not just doing it to get the game going. We're actually trying to compete. There's a lot of guys that do it, and just a little bit more time where I could have a thought, that would be really nice. That's all I'm, especially for young guys who don't even know what game plans really are yet. Maybe let them learn instead, as opposed to just getting to a point where they're just saying yes to every finger that's being put down because they don't have time to think about it. It's silly. It's I don't know. It's unserious. It feels unprofessional. And hitters aren't enjoying the 15-second thing either. Just make it 20. Just make it 20. Oh no, we added 3 minutes onto the game. Just who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, I do think I am hopeful because I do think that I think that baseball is willing to listen. I'm hopeful with some of this stuff.
I I don't know. Maybe that hope just gone because they've not at one point proven that they're willing to listen in any real meaningful way.
Okay.
It's just a lot of lip service, but it's very political. I don't know, whatever. You just look at. I mean, just they're lawyers. Like, what do you do? That's what they do. So, but they were told beforehand that it wasn't long enough. They decided that AA is the same as the big leagues, which is concerning. That if you can't tell the difference between one game mattering, the other one not mattering. I thought that was pretty much one-on-one baseball, but if I hear one more time that it worked in the minors, come on, just think critically for like half a second. Do you think a AA game is as important when there's bullpen guys on a rotation as like everyone's betting now on the major league games? Do you think that's like that's the same? It's not. So we actually we're making our money in the big leagues. We have to be successful in the big leagues. You don't AA. You simply don't. You don't have to be. You don't have to win the league. You don't have to go to the playoffs. You don't have to, because those guys are still going to go up the same way they were going to go up before. So it's just not the same. And also, maybe we should talk to some players that played in the AAA season, whether they liked it, because most pitchers hated it, but we're just going to ignore what they say because it's directly against them. Every veteran was like, yeah, I haven't shook off a pitch in a month because there's no time. And we got 19-year-old kids behind the plate trying to learn, and I just have to say yes to them because it's our only option, and that's just not a way to get better. I'm not asking for a ton of wiggle room. Just 5 seconds to be like, should I? Okay, like just that. That's all I need. Maybe one disengagement with no one on base for free. I don't know.
It does feel a bit rushed. Once again, I am in favor of trying to do things.
I like pace. Pace is very important.
Yes.
I'm a huge fan of the pace. I actually really love that the game's moving. It's just how short do these periods of time need to be in order to continue the pace? Pace is different than length overall. They're different things. One is the rate. The other one is the total length. The total length isn't as important as the rate of play is. It's like in golf. Like you're behind someone. You want it to be consistent. It's okay if we're moving at a certain speed, just as long as it's consistent. We're not just the whole time. That's not fun to watch. I totally understand. I totally get it. The pitch clock is necessary. Just maybe tweak it, please, for the love of God, tweak it.
Okay, we'll try and pass that along, or they could just listen. Since
it's been passed. We'll see if they listen. Yeah.
Okay, we'll finish things up with this. I believe we're taping this once again on a Friday. I think next week my Guardians come to town. I believe on Monday they'll be there. So I always ask this of Giolito since he faces them several times a year, but I haven't had to ask you because the Mets and Guardians haven't had to play very much, if at all. I don't even remember
we didn't
the
play
last 2 years. Okay. So how do I deal with this when you come into the game against the team that I love?
You're allowed to root against me just for that inning. All out. I understand. You like your team. Your team is going to be there much longer than I'm going to be on your show. So,
wait a second. This is breaking news. You're not leaving me, are you?
No. Hopefully, the team, the Guardians, exists beyond my death. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm not going to be around, and they're still going to be around. So, you're allowed to root for your guys. And I'll leave it up to you, whatever your internal thoughts are and how badly you want me to get beat. But, wanting your team to win is valid. I just got to be honest. I'm going to try to beat your team, and I'm not going to apologize for that. So you don't have to apologize for being a fan for that.
Okay. Yeah, because he says the same thing. He's like, you should want them to take the yard as much as they can. And I was like, but it hurts me. Like, that's the beauty of this show, is that people have gotten to know you guys. So if they don't love the team you play for, right, they still are like, how often do we read in the comments? God, you know what? I love Trevor May, but I want him to suck against the Phillies the last couple of years, right?
Yeah.
So that's the goal of this thing. So it pains me if my team were to knock you around the yard.
Well, I appreciate it, but at the end of the day, it might happen, it might not happen, and it's gonna suck for me if it does. Either way. So
But then, when you strike out the side and somebody asks you about it, you can be like, that's for my buddy Chris Rose.
that's
So
for my buddy Chris
that
Rose. And you know what?
motherfucker.
I won't expect the Chris Rose or the Rose rotation hype up video for that outing, maybe. You can do a
Yes,
different
you
one.
will. Actually, Rob is working on it right now. He loves to do that sort of stuff.
Okay.
He loves putting it out on.
Oh, so you don't greenlight that stuff before he just does it.
No, I let Robbie run the account. Just let
All right.
he and I talk a little bit about it, but yeah.
All right, Robbie, you hook me up, all right?
I got you.
All
Absolutely.
right, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah. Robin, his pedophile mustache are
Whoa.
back.
Jesus. Whoa. I was gonna give you a compliment on the audio dampening wall. That thing's beautiful.
Oh,
and he's got to go after your mustache, man.
That's what hey, it's okay. I'm going after his guardians once you strike them out. He's going after the mustache. It happens.
All right, hold
That's all
on.
good.
You're a facial hair connoisseur. If you saw that, wouldn't you be like, if you had a
Yes. But just yeah, you don't have to get into detail. I'd be like, I think,
It looks better in person.
yeah. I mean, what
Does it?
Pete has one now too, doesn't he? Alonzo, he grew his
I
out.
think so.
he has a stash?
It's like a little guy.
Little guy, but he's got the blonde hair, so it kind of like
He can grow.
blends
I think he
in.
can grow a good one. He can grow a good one.
Okay. Yeah, it's fun. I like it.
Mine's pretty good if I leave it,
Yeah.
but I won't. I'll never leave it again.
You
It's
could
really
go
the only
Fu
thing I can
Manchu.
grow, so
I go Fu Man. Yeah, this comes in real nice and scraggly.
I mean,
Maybe I'll do that
almost
one day.
Yes, if you're in Oakland, which was the birthplace of facial hair in baseball, I mean, you have to do that. You have to do it on a day where you're wearing one of the classic uniforms.
Oh, maybe we'll save that, or at least like trim this all up so it's very obvious, but like it'll all grow out again. I just like maybe trim it up, and just leave it really long here. Give myself a little, like almost like it grew out a little bit, so that I can maintain the beard because I don't want to lose the beard. This take way longer than I thought it was going to take to get to where it is. So, but yeah, that's full A's. You got to go full A's. I mean, we had a guy with a spiral shaved into his face once. Like, there's just nothing more A's than doing whatever. You're gonna see some stuff this year. I think out of our team, we've got a lot of guys who just don't care, and I love it.
Okay, good. Real quickly before we go, how rough are the bullpens down there along the line?
It's tough. It's tough when it's this cold. But honestly, I love how close we are to the fans. I love that I can just have a conversation. Something I've never really done up until this point, and I'm just trying to enjoy that stuff more because that's why we're there. Crowd was electric yesterday. It was a good amount. There was the whole lower bowl and the second deck was full all the way around. So it was like we had 30+ thousand yesterday, and it was crazy. But the fact that there's like a kid standing, like he could just put his fingers through the little lean-to that we sit under and just like touch you. I think that's some days where you're like, I don't want that, but other times, sometimes you just want to have a conversation with the super fan. It's the best place to do it. So I'm trying to think of it that way.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, if somebody can, that's listening to the Rose rotation can get that close to Trevor, maybe let's see, maybe we'll.
I want to hear your stories. Tell me about why you love baseball.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
The movie someday.
Ooh. Another episode on that one. All right, dude. I know you're a busy man. I always appreciate the time. Enjoy your adventures there in San Francisco. I'm sure we'll have some good food stories, some more baking. Let's not wash the cat anytime in the near future, please.
Yeah, please, God, no.
That's enough. Rob, thank you. And have a good start to your season, except for the next few days against Cleveland Guardians.
I will. Every day for the whole season.
Thank you.
All right.
For our amazingly talented yet oddly mustached producer, Rob Scirocco, and Trevor May, I am Chris Rose. We will see you next time here on the Chris Rose Rotation, a production of John Boy Media.